100 list of the most important talk radio hosts in the nation. Last year, Tavis ranked number 33, and the year before, number 45. The Tavis Smiley Show has rapidly expanded its national syndication to now include nearly 50 radio stations across the country and counting. Congratulations, Tavis.
Yay, yay!
Welcome in. Okay, family, it is Tuesday. And of course, we got a juicy plate of headlines and trending topics for you. So grab a seat, get your beverages, get your snacks, because we are going to get into some things tonight on KBLA Talk 1580. And you know Andy is always on theme. Shout out to Andy, because we're going to be talking about Monica. And she might have just said, I love you so much in the courthouse over the weekend. We're going to get into those details. Plus, Eddie Griffin, you know, he's a comedian. He and the late Malcolm-Jamal Warner, still sounds crazy saying that, were on a TV show together, Malcolm and Eddie. And Eddie recently hit the stage, and he had some commentary about Malcolm's death. And some are saying it was highly inappropriate. We'll get into those details. And Luenell, you know, that comedian. I guess we're having a little comedian theme tonight, so to speak. She doesn't hold her tongue either. Funny as heck, right? Well, she recently appeared on Dish Nation and was asked her thoughts about Shannon Sharpe. And let's just say Luenell started quoting Mike Jones. We'll get into those details in a bit. But, you know, I always like to start the night with a couple of conversation starters, some things you should be aware of, like Devon Franklin and his second chance at love. On August 2nd, the producer, now actor and author, married Maria Castillo. Here in LA, the ceremony honored both their roots, his African-American heritage and her Dominican background. And they had a surprise performance from the artist Major. We know he's been doing some big things. And Kelly Rowland was in attendance, LaToya Luckett. You know, it was a celebration. So shout out to them. Love seems to be in the air. We've heard a lot of proposals, new couple reveals, weddings. So, you know, we love to see love. And in upcoming film news, Halle Berry and Djimon Hounsou, I probably jacked that up. I know I did. But it's okay. They have a new film that they have just signed on to do. It's going to be called Red Card. And it's a crime thriller inspired by true events. Djimon will play. Why am I jacking this up? I've interviewed him too many times to mess that up. But that's a story for another day. Djimon. Yes, thank you. He's playing a ranger turned international law enforcement partner. And he's partnering with Halle Berry, who is an FBI supervisor, and they are fighting child trafficking in Africa. The film is endorsed by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So I think it's an interesting topic, and, Both of them bring it in crime action thrillers. So want to see what they have together. And also, your guy Boosie, you're going to be missing him on some Vlad TV interviews, it sounds like. Boosie's federal gun case has ended with a plea. And he took to X saying that he was tired of fighting and accepted a plea deal in this case. To quote, he said, "God don't make mistakes. Talk to my family, and this is the right decision." The case was previously believed to be closed, but the feds refiled. So we'll see what his plea deal involves. But yeah, it's time to put childish things away, perhaps. And we know that we've been hearing a lot about what is going to happen with NPR and programs like it with the cuts that Trump is making. NPR producer Bobby Carter cleared up rumors on Instagram, confirming that Tiny Desk is not ending despite the Corporation for Public Broadcasting being defunded. So CPB, which has supported public media for decades, is shutting down, but Tiny Desk is safe, at least for now. When we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. Oh, by the way, yeah, I slipped last night, but tonight, not now, but later, I'm giving away tickets to see Babyface and Charlie Wilson at the Hollywood Bowl. I got you. I won't forget this time. Who doesn't want to go see Babyface and Charlie Wilson under the stars, summertime breezing away at the Hollywood Bowl? It's going to be amazing. So sit tight for those. All that and more on the other side when we come forward.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GOLD for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GOLD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GOLD for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So before we get into all of these trending topics and headlines, of course, if you want to join in and share your opinion, 800-920-1580. Hit me up on social media, Stiletto Jill. Hit us up, KBLA 1580. Share your thoughts there or download the app. It's new. Take a look around. Go listen to past episodes. Catch up because you know you want to. And, of course, you know we have the YouTube chat. They're always opinionated, sharing their thoughts. There's conversations going up in there already. So get in there. Okay. Now, one other thing. Your president is once again raging against black media personalities. The other day, first, it was Charlamagne the God. Now, he's talking about Gayle King. And he posted on Truth Social, Gayle King's career is over. He linked a New York Post article speculating on CBS possibly axing Gayle King over poor ratings and, quote, woke programming. CBS and Gayle, Gayle actually did comment because TMZ caught up with her. And she was like, I'm sorry he feels that way, and kept that thing moving. It should be noted, though, that CBS is owned by Paramount, which was recently bought by Skydance Media. And if you're following the trail, remember CBS 60 Minutes, they had a suit. Trump had a suit against them and Paramount based off of some things that were aired where he ended up having to pay them. Well, they ended up having to pay him $16 million, as well as in order, some speculate, for the merger to go through, a lot of their woke, quote, policies and DEI measures had to be eliminated. And some think that this is Trump kind of flexing his power as they're rapidly seeing things change over there in such a short time, as the merger just officially got approved, I believe, last Thursday. Andy?
A lot of these businesses have no backbone, none whatsoever.
Well, you know, they weren't going to be able to get the money to survive. So they were like, let's play nice.
Look, I get it. It's just unfortunate that Trump literally has a stronghold on these corporations to where people are like, let's change from diversity practices because there's funding attached. It just kind of sucks.
It's crazy. And people thought that Madam Vice President Harris would be the emotional one. Don't know why, but there it is. Fahima in the chat says PBS, NPR, and Pacifica Network were each named in Project 2025. Pacifica is my network. However, we no longer get CPB funding and we weren't impacted. But it's only a small part of their budget. You know, he's petty. He's going to take his beefs out there wherever he can. And it's sad that, the federal government is being used as like high school or something. But here we are. So on Instagram, Monica Denise and Ant the Ladies Man, if you don't know, what is it? Coach C? I think Coach C and Coach P. Ant was, I believe he managed, they're a part of the Empire Group. He was involved with managing a couple of acts. I think he manages Chris Brown right now. Maybe, perhaps, I believe. But the two sparked marriage rumors after posting a romantic photo shoot. Monica had on a long black gown. Ant was in a tux. And they were all coordinated in things, looking beautiful. And the caption was, 2 hearts, 1 love, forever. That's cute. But it was Ant's comment that set the internet on fire. Shout out to everybody at the courthouse that got us in and out without a problem. And Monica replied, they were amazing. So no wedding tags, no announcement. But of course, fans flooded the comments, offering congratulations, speculating, assuming the courthouse reference meant they officially tied the knot. The two have been dating since at least early 2023. And we know Ant is also, Ant is also one of the producers on BMF, Viddy's show. And he manages several artists under his own label. And we know Monica was previously married to Shannon Brown when he played for the Lakers and a bit after, and they divorced in 2019. So did Monica become Mrs. Wilson? Or is this just social media trolling at its finest? Just, they looked good. Monica looked beautiful as always. Fly, hair laid. I don't know. People know what they're doing, though. They play games all day, but they know what they're doing. Listen, the chat has commentary again. Royal Jenkins says, Joy Reid, Don Lemon, now Gayle King. That's about Trump. Forrest Harrison says, Trump is only as strong as the people make him by not fighting back. Yeah, but it's the president.
Unfortunately, ain't nobody fighting. That's the thing. We over here watching the show unfold. And we over here trip over every comment, every gesture, and we ain't doing nothing.
I mean, we get our opportunity to do something every 2 and 4 years, I suppose. They messed up the last one. Everybody learning something. You know what they say, hard head makes a soft behind. That's what the old folks used to say, at least. So if Monica and Ant are married, congratulations. If they're just simply doing more beautiful photo shoots to show off their black love, congratulations. That's how we feel about that. Okay, so listen. We love Luenell, right? She's funny. She's an OG, Oakland OG. So throw up your dubs for that, right? Always keeps it 100. And she had some words for Shannon Sharpe. She had quite a few words, actually, for Shannon Sharpe. But, and we're going to play them for you. But at the end of it, she revealed that when Shannon was hot, coming post Cat Williams interview and what have you, her team reached out to do an interview with him, right? And I guess he declined, did the Hollywood game. Yeah. Not sure. But we know that the interview didn't take place. But she said when Shannon hit the speed bump in the road and things got a little shaky, then he came calling. And she said, back then didn't want me, now I'm hot, you all on me. She's like, you're not going to use me to catch flame right now because you burning out. I don't know if that's fair, but I understand. Let's take a listen to what else Luenell had to say.
What are your thoughts on Shannon Sharpe getting fired by ESPN after settling his case with his ex?
Goody.
Model?
Goody. Was that a little worth all that money?
Right.
Oh. See, Shannon Sharpe suffers from the same thing that Dennis Rodman suffered from.
What's that?
I'm ugly, but I made it anyway.
Oh, you think Shannon's ugly?
Yes.
Shannon, he has a really nice body.
You have to admire his body because he wears his clothes so obviously tight. Right. It's a little sus, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And his little dog.
Wait, he's got a little dog?
Yeah, remember
he was wearing a mysteriously tight outfit.
First of all, Shannon don't care nothing about me. I don't care nothing about Shannon. I say what I want. Shannon Sharpe, we tried to get on your show. When he was popular, he didn't want me. Back then, they didn't want me. Now he's losing, and he's all up on me. Want me to do the show. I'm not doing it, Shannon.
Talk your talk, Luenell.
Yeah. I said what I said.
All right.
So she said what she said. I do have to think that she is a comedian, so I think people that are like getting all up in arms about her commentary, I think you got to remember she's a comedian. This was on Dish Nation, right? It's not like it was a serious situation. Not that I shouldn't say that. The lawsuit is serious, but it is a loose environment. And, I mean, she cracks jokes. That's what she does. So she cracked a joke. But, people are mad. The internet is mean. You guys are saying lots of, well, maybe not you guys, but people are saying lots of mean things in the comments. But then some are saying, well, she opened herself up for it with the thing. But I think you got to remember, Luenell is, like I said, from Oakland. She was really outside, really, really outside when outside was outside. And she's a comedian. She's making jokes. So sometimes I think we got to lighten up and stop projecting so much into some of these statements. Andy?
I mean, everybody got comments about Shannon Sharpe, so why is everybody worried about what Luenell got to say?
Because she's a woman, an older woman, and, you know, if you're especially past a certain age, you should just go in the corner and die or be quiet at the very least. You ain't got no opinion.
Well, let's break down what she said. I think maybe the uproar, I haven't seen any of the comments, but I'm just going to assume that more people are probably upset with her referring to him as an ugly man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are. I mean, but here's the thing, right? We all know, like, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? We listen, we don't judge. Everybody doesn't see the same thing when they look at people in the mirror, right? But we know there are certain individuals, men and women, right? Perhaps when they were younger, perhaps when they were going through their awkward stages, right? Kids are mean. Teens are mean. They make fun of people. They go hard in the paint. When they find a weakness, they dig in, maybe to cover up their own insecurities and pain. But it happens, right? And it sets us up for a lifetime, at times, of battling back those things, right? So, you know, Shannon has expressed some things at various times about black women. Not as of late, right? Y'all may not remember it. I mean, just he has an opinion. He's expressed at times his thoughts about black women. Those thoughts may have changed now because some things have happened in his life. Experience tends to change our mind about things, right? But, I mean, there probably was a point in his life where he felt like black women did not like him genuinely, and he was going to seek the company of others because there was more genuineness there. And then 2025 hit. Andy?
So can we talk about the trauma that women place on young black men who might not be aesthetically appealing?
I mean, here's the we can talk about it, but we also can talk about the trauma that young black men place on young black women.
That's not what we're doing right now. We do that all the time.
Okay,
we're going to talk about that all the time. We do.
So, I mean, but here...
Let's talk about it.
But we can't...
T.O.
But here's some of the things. There's several that we can name. Dennis Rodman, T.O., she talked about that. Shannon. There's some others. But here's part of the thing with that as well, right? That is never said to...
Speak on it.
It's always said to black women, I feel, but it's never said to black men in this manner, right? Sometimes I feel like, especially for the ones that were athletes, right? Even at the time when they were. Some women probably did make fun of you and have jokes that hurt your feelings. As we just covered, teens, no matter the sex, are mean, right? But sometimes when I hear these stories, Donald Glover is another one, I feel like there is an entitlement on these men's part of the type of woman they are expecting to
I already know where you're going.
Be attracted to them, right? They might be attracted to the head cheerleader, and the library nerd might be in love with them, but they're not checking for the library nerd. They're checking for the head cheerleader. Therefore, if the head cheerleader doesn't acquiesce to how you're feeling, then it's all black women. And black women don't have that luxury. It is that black man felt that way, and we are supposed to consider and dust ourselves up again. Men should too, but I feel like when men in those positions talk about this, they don't get real, especially, yes, I'm saying athletes, because they have an elevation. People flock towards these types, right? And sometimes just for the experience. But I think they're not necessarily being honest that maybe the type of woman they felt they are deserving of didn't give them the attention they thought that they should get, and therefore they're being wronged by all black women.
This is why you should be a lawyer or something. I mean, you broke that down. I mean, I don't have no pushback, but I will say this message for the youngsters out there, for the YNs out there. Don't sleep on that nerdy girl. For real.
I'm
Don't
saying.
sleep on that nerdy girl, especially when she turned 21. I'm just saying.
Everybody can caterpillar and blossom. Baby gets thick in the right places or loses whatever, right techniques, learning better ways to take care of oneself. The magic can happen on both sides, right? So, trust your heart and relax sometimes. Don't let other people influence you. But those are basic things. We should learn that when we're young. We should be past that at a certain point. But we're not, because we have people like Trick Daddy and Paul Pierce saying women after 30 or 35 are burnt out. You know what I'm saying? Listen, now is the time. If you want to go see Babyface and Charlie Wilson at the Hollywood Bowl, we have one pair of tickets. So that means you got to be the first to call 800-920-1580. When we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines.
Before I came up in the game, nobody showed me love. They see me in the club and used to treat me like a scrub. They wouldn't holler cause my dollars wasn't swollen up. I bet they changed their mind when them 84s come rolling up. They see that I'm a star, now they wanna sit in my car. Now they wanna count my G's, roll with me and candy car. Now they used to love to diss me, now they rush to hug and kiss me now. They telling all their friends when I leave how they miss me now. 281-330-8004. Hit Mike Jones up on the low cause Mike Jones about to blow. Before the ice was in my grill, before I got my major deal, these girls didn't give a damn if I was here. Shit, I said before the ice was in my grill, before I got my major deal, these girls didn't give a damn if I was.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Misty Jordan with BIN News Now. Sadly, school shootings may be top of mind as the first day of class approaches. A high-tech company called Zero Eyes is providing some Florida school districts with an AI system that detects a weapon on a live security feed.
The moment you pull a gun out, in about 3 to 5 seconds, local law enforcement will already have that to action.
Sam Alimo of Zero Eyes said the system has identified thousands of real and fake guns brought to schools and other locations nationwide. Black NFL running back Saquon Barkley turned down the president's offer to team up. The Eagle star declined President Trump's invitation to join a 30-member council on sports, fitness, and nutrition. He said he couldn't commit due to time constraints. And more than 9 million people in the southeast are under a flood watch as rain and thunderstorms will impact the region over the next few days. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Delays into Anaheim Hills, eastbound side of the 91, slowing down at the 55 freeway all the way to Green River. An earlier wreck at the 241 has been cleared, but the 241 northbound also loading up from the Windy Ridge Toll Plaza all the way to the 91 freeway. We're heading out to Diamond Bar, stuck Big Rig, 60 eastbound at Grand, middle lane is blocked. And delays here are slowing down away from Fullerton Road. Ontario stall truck. This is the 15 northbound before 4th Street. Middle lane is blocked and delays are backing up away from almost the 60.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
When the preseason top 25 college football rankings came out Tuesday morning, USC and UCLA were not included. Neither team impressed the analysts enough to merit a top 25 ranking. USC is coming off a 7-6 season. UCLA was 5-7 last year. Both teams have a lot of work to do this season to change the thinking of college football analysts and their fan base. USC and UCLA are entering their second year in the Big Ten Conference. Administrators at Prairie View A&M and HBCU near Houston had to make a very tough decision. The school dropped its men's and women's tennis programs. The main reason was finances. Players on both teams will be allowed to keep their scholarship if they stay at Prairie View. Things do not seem to be getting any better for Shedeur Sanders with the Cleveland Browns. Deion Sanders is listed 4th on the depth chart for the Browns' 5 quarterbacks in training camp. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Break out the champagne. Everybody get a glass.
Tavis Smiley is now ranked number 16 nationally and the highest rated talk show hosted by an African American on the 2025 Talkers Heavy 100 list of the most important talk radio hosts in the nation. Last year, Tavis ranked number 33 and the year before, number 45. The Tavis Smiley Show has rapidly expanded its national syndication to now include nearly 50 radio stations across the country and counting. Congratulations, Tavis.
Yeah.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least like to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, another soul on soul. Yeah, production. Yeah. I stay soaked in foreign colognes. I keep dipped. Coogee sweaters hand knit, cause that's that fly shit. I stay laced because my body got Versace taste. Rolex on my cuff, flooded with diamonds and stuff. A half a dozen 100 Benz coupe in my driveway. Tried to have it my way, the flyway led to a bad day. I should've kept it real when I was with you. Instead I dissed you, so now I miss you. True.
It's been too long.
Sleepless nights, 3 lonely days since I last saw you. Now things just ain't the same. Whatever happened to the promise that we made? You'll never leave me. I'll never leave you. Now you're gone.
Shout out to Monifa, man, and Heavy D. I love me some 90s New Jack swingy hip hop soul vibe. And this was everything. Come on, Monifa. This was a vibe. Shout out to Andy setting the scene.
Jill, quick question.
Yes, sir.
See, I was a baby when this came out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you was outside.
I was outside a little bit, yeah. A little bit.
So my images of house parties at that time, it felt like everybody and their mama was always dancing.
Yeah.
You know, as I got into older age or whatnot, I hit the clubs and people was dancing and whatnot, but it was a lot of wallflower action going on. So I'm just curious to know, like, what were the parties like back then? Was everybody dancing? Did you still have wallflowers? Did you have cats mean mugging each other and all that?
Of course, you still had people
Okay.
that were wallflowers,
Right.
but I think there was a period too. Like you think about the sort of neo soul. What would you call that period of hip hop when it was like,
De La Soul and them
a
tried.
little later than that, but like, as my sun manifests and rotate, my earth connects to my moon as a, you know what I'm saying? That type of hip hop and rap, right? That I call it, like, guys would gather around the speakers because they were trying to hear the lyrics, I suppose, or spit their own rhymes. That was kind of different when it, felt really hip hoppy and but vibey, not like. There was a definite split. There was...
So like conscious or...
Yeah, the conscious rap. That's the
Okay.
word I couldn't think of.
Okay.
So there would be like, like out here, there was a club called Burning Spear, Water the Bush. Water the Bush. That's what it was called. It was in Hollywood. It was, like they played reggae and conscious rap and things like that. Just different things. So there would be kind of different clubs that were kind of vibey like that. And you wouldn't often see, like someone like Nipsey, for example, could probably float in either world because you think about it. Nipsey was intelligent. He read books. He had a lot of thoughts and ideas that transcend some of the normal talk you may hear from, some of the regular guys on the block, perhaps, right? And those parties were a little different, and each one had their vibe and their thing. But, there was a lot of dancing. There was no sections.
Really?
No, there were no sections.
Okay.
What's the section? Sometimes there would be VIP, right? But no, everybody was in the mix and they were dancing. Like, there weren't chairs, there weren't seats and tables. It was a good time,
Yeah.
Shout out to that. Forrest Harrison, the chat has a lot to say, so I'm going to get to these comments. I just saw this one. Forrest Harrison said, I just found out Heavy was connected to P. Diddy. No, now Heavy is gone. Don't start that stuff. But Uptown, yeah, Heavy was involved with Andre Harrell. We're going to get into some conspiracy theory stuff. We're talking about Eddie Griffin. But don't start that. Because here's my thing sometimes with this. And I understand that conspiracy theories, like some of them, they develop sometimes for a reason because there's been a lot of treacherous things done behind the scenes, backstabbing and things of that nature. People aren't always forthcoming with the truth for whatever reasons, right? People will lie about eating the apple out of the refrigerator. So the stuff we're talking about, of course, somebody is probably going to lie. However, sometimes I think, much like, for example, with some of the things that I'll Be Sure is saying, you got to consider the family. You got to consider how they feel. Those people are gone, but there are people here that are still living and dealing with that. And if you don't have something more than I think, because I heard somebody might have, I don't know about pushing that agenda in that way. That's just my thoughts, I'm not wholly mad at conspiracy theories. I just think some of y'all, come on, man. Sometimes people just make bad decisions, period.
Well, release the Epstein files.
We'll see.
I'm just saying.
I mean, listen.
There's too many shenanigans going on in this world that gets covered up under the rug. But I hear where you're coming from.
Lot of shenanigans. Okay, so let's get to these comments. Fahima says, whilst I don't think Shannon Sharpe is ugly, however, he is a hypocrite. Morris Phillips says, anytime we categorize an entire group of people, we're showing our ignorance. And he also says you have to admit that Shannon Sharpe isn't guilty of owning a library. Perhaps not. But listen, there's also commentary. Ball players are lying when they say that no girls paid attention to them in high school. I agree. Monique was right about Shannon to a certain level. Get you a Southern Belle that makes good cakes, smothered turkey wings, and rub your feet at night. But she may not want choke me, spank me, pull my hair.
Exactly, that's the thing.
And it may not
freak.
Right, and it may not be right and tight because
did you just say that?
Let's be fair. Shannon is in the gym a lot. I'm not saying that older women can't and don't do that, but I know that is probably one of the things that the response back is. Because we've been hearing it from Trick Daddy and Paul Pierce for the last couple of months, so I'm sure he's right in there to a degree. He was adamant, I don't need no woman over 30. Nope, I'm good. Yeah,
you sound
somebody
like
good.
Kevin Samuels right there.
I'm just saying, man.
Right and tight, right?
I'm just saying, that's what they say. That is what they say. So I hear, some people like a little pushing for the cushion and a little something they could grab on too.
So what does that say for the aunties and them?
People like what they like. I'm not here to tell people what they should and shouldn't like per se. But, you do what you do. You acquiesce to the level which you are. Oh, no. Listen. DJ Black 909 says, no lover like the overweight lover. Shout out to that. Mr. Alvizi says, that lady has some nerve calling someone ugly. Just saying. Are you talking about Luenell?
Come on, Jill.
What? I'm just saying. Is that who you're talking about? Who are you talking about? But listen, this is what I'm saying. This is what social media does. You got an opinion about her having an opinion about how he looks. Everybody got an opinion, right? It doesn't mean anything per se. It just means that's their opinion. Sometimes people should keep it back, but, listen, we all have one. What do they say? Opinions are like booty holes. Everybody got one. All right, listen, when we come forward, we are going to get into what Eddie Griffin had to say about Malcolm-Jamal Warner. I'm not going to play it for you. Too many beeps, too many curses. But we're going to get into it. Yeah, I didn't want to put Andy to work on that. It was going to be too much. He was blip, 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 blip. And we knew it wasn't coming. And shout out to Deborah Bradley. Yes, shout out to Deborah Bradley. She won the Babyface tickets. Make sure you guys are tapped in tomorrow because I have more concert tickets at the Hollywood Bowl. Not for that show, but for another show tomorrow. So shout out to Deborah Bradley. All right, when we come forward, Malcolm-Jamal Warner and Eddie Griffin's comments on it.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're an adult in need of an accredited high school diploma, the Los Angeles Public Library can help. You can earn one for free in as few as 5 months online with 24/7 access. You also get a personal academic coach plus special training focused on 9 in-demand industries as well as a resume and cover letter to advance your career. Visit the website at lapl.org/diploma. That's lapl.org/diploma.
You have cancer. The 3 words no one wants to hear. Of the cancers that impact our community, lung cancer is the most dangerous. More people succumb to lung cancer than colon, breast, and prostate combined. Black men are 12% more likely to develop lung cancer, and cases for Black women are rising. Early detection and comprehensive treatment is the best way to beat this dreaded disease. Providence is a research leader in multi-cancer early detection, offering blood tests that identify fast-spreading cancers that don't show symptoms in early stages. The Providence Los Angeles Integrated Network Cancer Program determines best protocols for each patient, interacting with specialists who share experiences, perspectives, and new findings specific to each case. With over 1,000 board-certified physicians, including top oncologists, surgeons, radiologists, and nurse specialists, Providence delivers whole-person care that understands your culture, values, preferences, and priorities. So, if you hear the words, "you have cancer," all you need is faith and providence.org/cancer.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. IG or find them on Instagram at WalkGoodLA. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So listen, Eddie Griffin, again, he's a comedian. We've been talking about comedians today, and they obviously, comedy has changed. People, Andy says sensitive. I was going to say people are much more concerned about the boundaries with which comedy is told. Cat Williams said on one of the podcast interviews he was on, if you can't adapt to the new rules, then you're just not funny. And I feel that to a degree, but I also think one of the things that was great about comedians, and you think about some of our all-time greats and favorites, I'm talking Richard Pryor, Red Fox, we can even talk to the white ones, George Carlin, things like that. Oh my God, I'm leaving out my guy that wrote for Richard Pryor. I'm blanking on his name. I love him. No, he was a comedian. He also was a writer. Yes, Paul Mooney. Yeah, I'm like, how can I forget? Paul Mooney always came with a very, very, very hard truth in a funny, wrapped in a funny way. Maybe not now to some, but the thing about comedy was that it was ironic. It touched on uncomfortable subjects and made them human, I guess, or a way to connect, those little dark corners in our minds, our fears. But things are quite different now. So Eddie Griffin was doing a comedy set. And I think part of the thing with this is that it's very soon. This is very raw, very new. It hasn't even been 2 weeks, right? But during his set, Eddie questioned the official story of Malcolm-Jamal Warner's death in Costa Rica. The two starred together, obviously, on Malcolm and Eddie from 96 to 2000. I really didn't realize the show was on that long. I thought it was just 2 seasons. Maybe I might have thought it was just 1, but maybe it was on a little longer. But part of what he said was, I don't believe that man drowned. It's too suspicious. He brought up the fact that Bill Cosby lost both of his sons and how terrible a man he must be. Conspiracy. And then he said, it's too suspicious. There's too many different stories. He continued by raising questions about why Malcolm's daughter's mother wasn't there, according to some stories that have been passed around. And he even asked, why would someone want to take him out? Right? Now, considering the fact that perhaps Eddie does, but Malcolm was relatively private about his life and his wife and his family. His family, to my knowledge, hasn't released a statement. We've heard from some of his cast members, tons of friends and fans, however you want to put it. But again, understanding he's a comedian and that's what they do. And we understand comedians got a comedian, right? They have to be funny. They have to bring up the irony. I do think it was a little too soon. And especially if you know that you don't have a no phones allowed policy in your show. Maybe you did and someone snuck it in. But I just think that your words carry. And maybe this is Eddie's way of working out his pain. We know that they had a tumultuous relationship. They were not necessarily friendly during the show filming. They had some issues, not personally, but professionally in their work. And so maybe that is his way of working it out. Comedians often use the stage to process their pain, confusion, loss, and it's worth noting that he really hasn't made any additional comments since that set or on Instagram. So shout out to everyone going through it, man. Keep your head up. All right. Listen, this is interesting. And, we talk a lot about these situations. We just kind of talked about Shannon Sharpe and him having to pay millions to the young lady he was involved with, right? I don't know if you guys remember an internet star named Little Tay. She was big on TikTok. No, she's not black. But she was underage. She got caught lying. She used to affect a black scent and a lot of her stuff. Around the same time, another girl named Vicky Woe was out. They were young girls, kind of emulating the things that they saw. I'm not removing accountability or responsibility from them at all. Just saying what it was, right? Well, she recently turned 18 and she joined OnlyFans. Within 3 hours of launching, she made $1 million. She broke it down. $486,000 from messages. And those of you that understand how OnlyFans works know what this stuff really means. $511,000 from subscriptions. Obviously, that's people signing up to her OnlyFans page. And $26,000 in tips. A quote from her says, "Not bad for only 3 hours work. We broke the freak out of the OnlyFans record." Her flexor persona sparked concern over her family disputes. She did a fake death rumor. She returned to social media in 2024, and much like Bad Barbie or Bad Baby, Bad Baby, Catch Me Outside girl, when she turned 18, she joined OnlyFans and instantly becomes a millionaire. And what does that say, if anything, about the millions of people or the hundreds and thousands that are willing to give these women millions as soon as they turn 18 to see these provocative photos, right? I am very much a person who believes that there is, once a person turns an adult, no matter what we think, they're an adult and they get to make their own decisions and relationships and so forth. However, some of you already adults, y'all got to ask yourself why you're that pressed to drop crazy cash on a newly turned 18-year-old little girl. I don't know. Freedom to the people. I know Playboy started at 18, but sometimes it's just like, wow.
Shannon Sharpe may know.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure that he does. Listen, Doechii announced her first headlining tour live from the Swamp starting October 15th in Chicago, wrapping up November 10th in Seattle. Of note, no New York or LA stops announced yet. Hopefully, they'll be added on. And lastly, since we mentioned I'll Be Sure is still claiming Kim Porter's death is being covered up by a multi-million-dollar PR campaign aimed at discrediting him and hiding evidence since 2015. Said firm allegedly paid over $8 million, according to him, to scrub coverage and protect SC, assuming he was talking about Diddy. Hey, Al, can you please go talk to the police, file a suit, make sure you and your son are good since you keep pressing this issue? I don't know, not trying to get in family business, but as mentioned earlier, around conspiracy theories. Think about your child. Think about your role in Kim's life. I don't know. I don't know Al personally, but from the Instagram, a lot of this stuff feels a little clout chasey. I don't know though. We'll see. Listen, thank you guys for locking in. Be back here tomorrow, 6 p.m. Remember, I'm giving away more tickets to the Hollywood Bowl. Not that show, another show. I'll tell you tomorrow. All of that and more. Now, coming up, the voice of reason, Zoe Williams. Have a good time with him. Yes, you always do. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
We cook good, we eat good, we look good. She ain't fat, bro. She ain't fat, bro. She ain't fat, bro. Hey, she ain't fat, bro. Nah, watch your mouth. Just a little thick. I know you ain't said what I thought you said. She ain't fat, bro. Nah, watch your mouth. Just a little thick. She ain't chubby, she juicy. Anything some girls can do. Anything. She ain't better. BBW curious. Anything some girls can do. Anything. She ain't better. Hey, I'm talking cook, clean kids, man, and swallow a whoop. You never see a big girl begging for ish. No. If you hit it right, she might buy you a whip. And if you say you love her, she might pay the rent. You know I'm from Atlanta, home of Georgia peaches. Cornbread booties fill up the bleachers. I wanna kick back up, slap dropping it, baby. Big girl a freak, man, you know that she with it. On fleek, pretty teeth, man, forget being skinny. And if your man ain't with it, then forget being with him. And if your man won't hit it, then hit up a brother. I'll be off in that moose like, woo. She ain't fat, bruh. Nah, watch your mouth. Just a little thick. I know you ain't said what I thought you said. She ain't fat, bruh. Nah, watch your mouth. Just a little thick. She ain't chubby, she juicy. Anything some girls can do. Anything. She can do better. BBW curious. Anything some girls can do. Anything. She can do better. Hey, she just had a baby and she gained a little weight. Bye size 6, 7, and 8. How about a small dick, the little is out the gate. I'm seeing her later on and she know I'm bringing a plate. Water in a salad. My baby said she needs some on her palate. Shoot, you should see the way she's straddling. She deserved Texas Roadhouse rallies. Yeah, she might be a little round, but she looked just like Beyonce laying down. So myself. When she bent over, it's a full moon. Say, girl, you gon' fuck around to a werewolf. She ain't fat, bruh. She ain't watch your mouth. Just a little thick. I know you ain't said what I thought you said. She ain't fat, bruh. Nah, watch your mouth. Just a little thick. She ain't chubby, she juicy. Anything some girls can do. I'm BBW curious. Anything some girls can do. Anything. She can do better. Hey, LD. Lil' mama got a body like the guy who got Bin Laden. Fanny on her like a potty down.